Subscriber areas are now live at foottrading.co.uk. Tier 1 and Tier 2 have both gone live. And don't forget, this year we've got our season pass. Incredible value. It basically works out about 4 or 5 months for free, depending on the tier that you're in. We've got more site areas being added every single day. We've got icons on there now. We've got golds. We've got shadows, anchors, hunters. We've got silvers going on very soon. We've got position change trading going on very soon. So make sure you check the website out. But for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, subscribe down below. We're on the road to Project Fuzzball 40k. The channel is growing like crazy right now, so thank you to everyone that chooses to subscribe. We're going to be giving away a copy of FIFA 23 probably in tomorrow's video, Saturday's video. So make sure you are subscribed if you want to enter that. If you've already got FIFA, I will just transfer you the cash that I would spend on a copy of FIFA. So don't worry yourself about that. And check out the website. Full launch has happened and we're adding more areas to the site every single day. But let's talk about the market. The game fully launched yesterday and the market has dropped significantly because of that. I was looking at someone like Klosterman yesterday and was debating when to buy him, and I sort of held off because I knew he was going to dip a little bit with full release. He was at 17.5k give or take yesterday, and now he's like 12.5, I think. About 12.5k now for this card, which is a significant drop. However, we've got ones to watch starting tonight, and now we don't know if we're going to get lightning rounds. Last year, if I remember rightly, we didn't get lightning rounds during ones to watch, but with tonight comes promo packs, comes everyone on the game, and cards will drop further. And so stuff like Lucas Klosterman, the low-rated, really good cards, they're going to drop further. Now, I think some of them will bounce back to a degree, but I'd be very careful. If you're holding any players now and they're low-rated, I'd think about selling just because otherwise you're going to get stung. I've been saying this for a couple of days now. Full release always sees prices drop. But I want to talk about a few things you can do in terms of making profit. Very, very easy things. The first thing we're going to do is head to my transfer pile. Yesterday we saw marquee matchups, and with that we got a mass of silver supply. I think it was 3 or 4 packs that had silvers in them, and so silvers absolutely plummeted, and it was a fantastic time to make coins on this game because silvers are useful in 2 scenarios. The first is League SBC, which we don't have right now. The second is in advanced SBCs, daily SBCs that we do have right now, and silvers always seem to take place over things like golds. So some gold left mids that are expensive and whatnot, people throw silvers into the solutions and it bounces them. And so because of that, they all took a hit. What I did yesterday was basically look for filters, and you should do the exact same thing right now. If you are a website subscriber, I'm going to do that for you today, so don't worry about it. And all you've got to do is go around and look at filters and find what filters are doing well. For example, French silver rare left mid, even just silver French left mid. They still do decent. They're still relatively expensive. And all you've got to do is work out which filters are expensive and know them. All you've got to do is know them. So that when you get the silver supply that comes onto the market, you can buy en masse. Now, the good thing about silvers is whenever we've got supplies so far, they've all dipped and dropped to basically discard value. So your risk is 0. It's absolutely 0 because you can always overlist for a lazy buyer. And this is really, really sort of borne out in things like English left wings. Yesterday, they bounced. They dipped it, like, again, a little bit this morning. But they bounced back again now. We're back up at 700 coins again. They're all back up again. We'll buy the rare because they tend to sell for a little bit more. Not massive more. I've already bought some more this morning as well. But it is a really, really simplistic way to make coins. As you can see, we sold a load. Certain cards sell for a lot more. People like this Holtman, 94 pace, left winger, silver. Things like that are really good cards to buy into because people use them for the silver stars, SBCs and stuff like that. Objectives even. And they're done really well. I'm going to clear off transfer pile now while we list off the rest of them and they're there. However, let's head over to FootWiz and look at what the situation is on FootWiz. So, first thing I want to talk about, Team of the Week 2. Got absolutely hammered last night. Absolutely hammered. Iverson Eriksen's no problem at 20k. They're down at 17 now. Dalot, again, not far off that. Szczesny, an 87 rated gold, quite important keeper from Serie A, down at 21k. Again, you'll be able to pick him up cheaper than that as well on bids and snipes. This is a really good buy. A really, really good buy. Tonight, if we get supply in terms of promo packs and this card gets down to 17, 18k, I will buy quite a few of them. Shomurodov, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's not far off discard price. An infinitely usable Serie A striker with pace at nearly discard price. Giroud, again, not far off discard price. Orban, not far off discard price. These cards are 0 risk. Absolutely 0 risk. Someone like Lozano has been absolutely hammered in price. Down to 49k now, right? And we were looking at him at 69 yesterday, all the way down to 49 now. If he continues on this sort of dip and this sort of drop, I'd be interested in buying him. My price on cards like this is you want to get them down to as low as possible, 35, 40k. But then, again, you've got to compare him to someone like Leao, for example, who plays in the exact same league. He's a left winger only, Leao. 15k is what Leao is sitting at right now, okay? Compare the two cards. Lozano's far, far better. He has finite supply. He's only impacted for a certain amount of time. So someone like a Lozano isn't ever going to be a bad buy, so long as you get them cheap enough. And the way you also back yourself when it comes to buying these cards is some people will actually use these cards. So if you can pick up a Dalot cheap enough tonight at 15k or whatever, and you pick him up with Shadow on him, then that's great. Fantastic, because you know full well there's going to be very few shadows on him, so you're going to protect yourself to a certain degree because shadows have value. Same for Eriksen, same for Orban. All of these cards, you're going to protect yourself if you're smart enough to buy them or patient enough to buy them with Chemstars and Fofana. Again, a very good, usable Liga and CDM. Very good, very usable, very well-rounded. Again, at 17k. Gets down as low as 14, 15 tonight, which I think he could do. It could be fantastic to buy into him. These cards are all going to do very well, in my opinion, tonight because we're going to get mass supply. Side note, Marquinhos as a card here, 167 for his inform. With the drop last night, his gold card saw a dip. His gold card's down in value, alright? And the bizarre thing about his gold card being down in value is this is out of packs. So tonight, when we get supply, someone like Marquinhos could bounce back really well because there's only a certain amount of him on the game right now. He's no longer in packs, while Marquinhos' inform is in packs. So there's a certain amount of supply he'll get. Now, what will happen, in my opinion, is we'll see Marquinhos get packed loads. This one will drop in value. That one might even head down with it. And then what happens is people start to buy them up and the price rises again. And I think as this rises, it will drag up the price of the 88 with it for people that can't afford the 89 or don't want to pay the extra for the 89 because they don't think it's that much better. So things like that will be good. Now, final thing for those of you on higher budgets, those who've got a bit more of a budget to work with. Things like Erling Haaland. Haaland is down from yesterday. I think at its highest yesterday, he got to the 220. He is down at 190. He's dropped about 30k now since yesterday. First things first, ones to watch is, if any of them are in the ones to watch team, the high-rated meta ones should do really well. They should do really, really well, okay? The reason for that is someone like a Haaland wants to watch is going to be very expensive when it first comes out. It's going to be a very expensive card. People expect him to get a lot of informs this year, a lot of boosts. So someone like Haaland could do really, really well. Out of packs, if he comes out of packs, if someone wants to build him up for what weekend league or whatever it is, he's only going to go up in value as more and more people buy him up. So people like Haaland could do really well. Then where you've got to be a little bit careful in all of this, is yes, these cards will probably rise, but they are already very expensive. So you have to be a bit careful because some people might just go sod that or buy an alternative instead. You've got Rashford's Player of the Month coming out, might affect the price of strikers from the Premier League as well. Things like that are where you've got to be a little bit careful and just not get too excited too quickly. But for ones to watch tonight, if we get any ones to watches in packs tonight that are basically discard value or very cheap anyway, that is the time to buy. I'm trying to work out a sort of really good option for it. But what I'm thinking of here is, let's say you've got a gold common or a gold rare that goes in and they're not far off the discard price. They're going to be needed still for SBCs. They're going to be needed for other things. And if they're usable, all the more better. Those cards should see a rise. Someone like Gabriel Jesus, for example, we know that he's getting the ones to watch. It's been confirmed. We know he's getting one. He's at 16k right now. My worry with him is he's 83 rated and he's a good card without being great. I would watch what his ones to watch does. And if this card dips significantly, then I'd be interested in buying him. However, when you look at his graphs, 18 down to 16, he's at a low right now. So there's not masses of risk involved in it. What I will be doing tonight is probably looking at the higher end cards and looking at some of the ones to watch cards and probably those team of the weeks. That's what I'm going to do tonight. So they're the things you can look at. If you're low budget, silvers right now are unbelievable. Like, they flew yesterday. Absolutely flew. It was fantastic. If you're mid-budget, I'd be looking at ones to watches and those cards that are out of packs and some of those lower rated team of the weeks. And if you're high budget, I'd look towards the high tier cards that I think could rise tonight. Once we get initial supply, let them drop first with all the supply we get, and then they'll bounce back from there, in my opinion. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss an upload. But for now, I'm out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.